From the very beginning at Parkwood, there were so few people in the very beginning. Everybody got to know everybody else, you know. So people learned, how could they avoid doing it, learned right off that I was the kindergarten teacher. Oh my goodness, and people coming into the year, oh, you're a kindergarten teacher. There was nothing at that time because the area was just growing and people were coming. There was a tiny little school on Park Street, which was operated by the wife of a service member, and I do not remember if it was Navy, Army, or what. But it closed because he was transferred from the area, and I'm sorry I don't remember the name, and they closed it right away, well, after the year was over. But people kept saying, can't you just have a little group for our kindergartners? So in 1956, I said, yes, my husband will be away for the whole month of January, February. I will have a very small group of kindergartners in the room we had added for our family on Park Street, 201 Park Street. And I enrolled 14 little guys and gals for the first class at Parkwood, and we met in our family room Monday, Wednesday, Friday of each week for that half of a year beginning in January of 1957. That was the beginning of Parkwood. I had no idea that I was beginning a business, that I would find it the most satisfying, wonderful challenge that anybody could imagine, to work with young children. So that's how it happened. The following year, my husband said, you enjoy doing it, why don't you continue to do it? So I thought, well, he said I could do it, so I can do it. So the second year, we had a full class of 16 kindergartners in the family room. Well, you know, the little brothers and sisters by that time were getting to the point that mothers were saying, oh, we do need something. So in January of 58, let's see, 57, 59, the dining room at the house at 201 was very big. It was 3 times the size of the living room. So I thought, what can I do? Oh, partition the front porch so that you don't use the left entrance to the living room. You simply go straight. There is the dining room. So the dining room became multi-purpose. I just moved the living room furniture into the dining room, and the kitchen was already very big, and with the bath on the back and a laundry room on the back for that half of a year. So that was the beginning of our second group. We had the older 4s for a half of a year. So at this point, I realized, oh, what have I done? I either have to get in or get out. So we began to think about, you know, what do we do? All the time my good husband would say, you enjoy doing it, you do what you should do. So this church across the way here was opening, and we looked around, and my goodness, it's surrounded by 5-acre lots. Nutley Street from Maple Avenue over to 29 to 11 was pastures for cattle on both sides. You had this little gravel road called Nutley Street running across, and we heard about the 5-acre lots. So we came to find the 5-acre lots. From Nutley Street, a road, a path, a passageway had been bulldozed to get the trees away so that you could get up to the church. There was a huge, not a huge, but a very old, big, lovely, wonderful house right across the street. Well, they had been coming in the other way by a very small little country road. So you see the bulldozing of this road opened the whole area. And the house across the road, again, had been reached by coming this way. And it, I don't know, was 5 acres. I believe maybe 10 acres. And there was a tiny little house there. The Carnet was wonderful. They built onto that house and had a huge big garden, which my husband enjoyed, and were wonderful, wonderful neighbors. So we looked at it and we thought, across the street from the church, maybe the church will allow us to use their facilities until we build. I found an architect right away who was very interested in expanding, and we built our first unit, which is this unit, this house and this unit. As you can see, there are 3 classrooms here, 1 classroom here. The garage upstairs was this big, and immediately, just the first year, we filled the 4 classrooms downstairs of kindergartners and older 4s. Well, you know, the next question is, what do we do with our first graders? The cutoff date is January 1. So we had our first little first grade group in the garage. And it never returned to being a garage. Well, it was completely, of course, made ready for the first grade. We had a very small group of first graders, 15, with a tremendous National Cash Register wife who had a master's degree in early education from Georgia, and she did the first grade, so that's how it happened. Then 2 years later, oh my, of course the area by this time, Jonas had built all around us, you know. And not only had Jonas built, everybody else had built, and there were lots of children who needed a place to go. So we said to the surveyor, how do you break up the property? So he rezoned the 5-acre lot for a 2-acre plot with a name building and 5 lots onto
Marshall.
What is it?
Marshall.
Well, that's Marshall.
Oh, I'm turning around. Where?
Well, I am talking to my... What's the name of the street?
Where? W-A-R-E.
Yeah, good. Ware Street, right. And with the 5 lots we built then, the first house, Roger Wood designed it. He had used a basic plan for 4 classrooms, 4 big, beautiful, wonderful classrooms. And of course, that our first graders went there. Then 4 years later, we needed more space, so we built the third house. So that's how it happened. And it is now, of course, 58 years since that happened. And the school has been unbelievably wonderful in terms of its progression year by year, year after year for the children, 3.5 through 5 years. There was a period, and I don't remember the dates, when parent pressure said, oh, we need second and third grade. So when we built the third building, we had a primary school with kindergarten and 4-year-olds. Then, being a kindergarten teacher, as Fairfax County changed their entrance date back to October 1, you see this took some of the children, and I could safely at that point drop third grade, then the next year the second grade. Then we had first grade for the next 10 years. I just couldn't let go of the first grade. Finally, that year came when it looked like it was the time to let go of first grade, and we would be a 3, 4, 5-year-old preschool for children. And that's what we are now.